Welcome to Bed Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T. If you enjoy all things true crime and you like it delivered in a calm, rational manner and not all the drama, then I suggest you subscribe. And after watching and listening to this video, if you find you enjoyed it or learned something, please consider a membership here or on Patreon. You can also help the channel by smashing that like button. As they say, like, share, subscribe. And now, without further ado, let's get started. Hello, my true crime friends. I hope you're having a great day. I'm going to be talking about the Madeline Soto case. Madeline's so-called stepfather, although that does not seem like the right term for him. A better name is probably P.O.S. He was arrested on March 1st for 60 counts of SA against Madeline, and then, about 2 months later, after he was already in custody, he was charged with Madeline's death. In Sterns' indictment, investigators said that Madeline likely died between February 25th and 27th. Documents from the Kissimmee Police Department reveal that Maddie was found inside a locked, fenced area in the 5600 block of Hickory Tree Road on March 1st, and that is the area where a witness told police they saw Sterns on the side of the road with a tire iron in his hand near a broken down vehicle at around 1:20 p.m. on Monday, February 26. The witness described Stephan as sort of stooping down, turning around though, and meeting his eyes. And the witness said that Stephan had a scared look to him. When investigators finally reached Maddie, they saw that she was wearing a green hoodie, blue jeans, and white socks, which were clean on the bottom, indicating that she didn't walk anywhere. There was dried grass and hay on top of her. Because Maddie's mother, Jenn Soto, said that she went to bed in her pajamas, which normally would have been shorts and a baggy t-shirt, I believe that Stephan Sterns removed Maddie's PJs and dressed her in this outfit. Note that she was not wearing her white Crocs. Stephan had told the police after Maddie was reported missing that she was wearing her white Crocs and she was also wearing socks. He even said that he made a joke to Maddie about wearing Crocs and socks. I find it interesting because one of Maddie's white Crocs was found in the dumpster at the townhome community where Maddie lived, and the other Croc was found in Jenn Soto's bedroom. I'm guessing Stephan wasn't able to find both of the Crocs to put them on Maddie's feet. Or maybe he was too afraid to go back into Jenn Soto's bedroom to grab the second white Croc, fearing he might wake her up. And you and I both know that he likely did not want to wake Jenn up and have her get out of bed and start walking around the condo that morning. What I'm curious about is how did Stephan get Maddie out of the townhouse, down from the guest bedroom on the second floor, down the stairs, out the door, and into his father's silver Lincoln without anybody hearing it and without anybody seeing it? You'd think he would have wrapped her maybe in sheets or a blanket. Neither of those items were found at the dump site with Maddie. When investigators removed the debris that was over Madeline, they were immediately able to identify her by a specific mole she had on her cheek. That's the mole that Stephan Sterns referred to as Maddie's beauty mark, which I think the way he described it is indicative of how he looked at Maddie. As sick as it may sound, I think he looked at her as his girlfriend. Now, according to the investigators' report, Madeline showed signs of decomposition only on one side of her face and on her hands. The investigators also said that due to the area still having been locked and the lock not having been tampered with, Stephan Sterns would have had to drop Madeline over the barbed wire fence or where the gate was before moving her body to where it was eventually found. Now, Maddie weighed 110 pounds and she was 5 foot 1 inch tall. So I'm trying to figure out if Stephan carried her across the street to this secluded area and then tossed her over the fence. Did he carry her in a blanket? Or did he drag her across the street, also wrapped in a blanket? I doubt he would have carried Madeline without something over her across that street for fear that a passing car would spot him. After seeing Stephan's body, he doesn't look like he has much muscle in his arms. He doesn't look like a very strong guy. I wonder how hard it would have been for him to carry her. They always say when somebody is deceased, it's just all dead body weight, literally. Stephan later called his father at 3:17 p.m. on that Monday, February 26. Here's how Chris described the sound of Stephan, his mood, his voice when he called him at 3:17 p.m., roughly 2 hours after dumping Maddie in St. Cloud.
My call to him at 2:25 was 2 seconds, so no connection. Gotcha. And then he called me at 3:17, and that conversation lasted 3 minutes.
And you said he was upset at that time, or he seemed?
No, he seemed off, and I said, well, maybe, the anxiety medications or what have you was keeping him somewhat kind of flat, monotone in a way. Mm-hmm. Nothing upbeat about it. And then, matter of factly, I had a flat tire. We talked about that, and then.
Did he plan on taking the car to a tire shop? Did you guys confirm that plan?
Or? I told him to. I said, he's driving on a donut. And we both confirmed that, the donut wouldn't last long and that, he needed to get that quickly replaced. And I expected him to do it. I didn't expect for him to do it that day because that's not Stephan's modus operandi. I expected him to do it the next day. So then I didn't hear from him until he called me at 4:54. Mm-hmm. And that conversation lasted 3 minutes. And as I said, I heard this story about him dropping her off at school and the whole abduction thing, and I heard that even more later in the evening. But I thought to myself, how strange these two events happened, and within a short time of one another that afternoon.
Did you question him about it or no?
No, I didn't think about it. When the call came in, he starts telling me that this is just a thought I had. It's kind of strange that. Coincidence that there were two incidents like that in that afternoon.
So Stephan was coming across as just matter of fact roughly 2 hours after he dumped Madeline. What's interesting is that he wasn't sobbing, he wasn't sad, he wasn't acting out in any way at that point. I mean, you would think he would have been freaked out and that his dad would have sensed some anxiety or stress, but he didn't. This drives home for me how much of an actor Stephan Sterns is. Because remember, when reporters showed up at Jenn's townhouse and spoke to Stephan, he was teary-eyed, he appeared to have been sobbing, he looked incredibly upset, so he can turn the waterworks on when he needs to. I would be interested to know what your theories on regarding how Stephan got Maddie out of the house and into the car, and then from the car across the road over to the dump site. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time on Bed Crime Stories.